Hello, bugs. It's Maisie, and welcome to the first ever episode of my new Sims Let's Play, where we will be following my beloved family, the Prisms. This is a legacy challenge my friend Tiffany and I created together, journeying through each pack we wanted to play the most. This legacy is inspired by Little Simsy's Not So Very Legacy challenge, which I'm sure everyone knows and loves, so each generation has a corresponding color. It's a semi-lengthy one, spanning over 13 generations. Here we have my gorgeous founder, Penelope. I can't zoom in anymore because they chose a weird place to take the photo, but it's fine. Um, and her lovely fiance, Lothario. Together they have one son, June, which we will focus in on him in just a second, but I wanted to introduce Penelope's story for a second. So, Gen 1 of our legacy starts at a crossover of the university and get together packs, and their story as follows. You were always known as the perfect student growing up, never missing classes, straight A's, and the chess club even. Your parents pushed you to get into the perfect college from a young age, and you couldn't stomach the possibility of disappointing them. So you put your all into your studies every day. Finally, all that hard work has paid off. You just received the acceptance letter from your dream college. One promise you made to yourself, however, that you would actually enjoy school this time. You enter a sorority and party with them every weekend. Can you hold on to your scholarly reputation that you've upheld so long, or will your first taste of the party life throw you off course? With this generation, I found it useful to utilize the club feature to create a club that would basically serve as the sorority. I just wanted to get that picture there real fast, and I'll show you where the club feature is. So the club feature, she's no longer in the club because it was a college club, but this is where you find the clubs under social clubs, and so basically, um, it's best to do this with Sims that are already enrolled so you don't have to go through all the work of enrolling each Sim. From here, you have two options I find work best. Either create this group from the university dorm roommates, or if you have for rent, it is possible to have them all in one house without having to control them. There are a few rules in place to make this experience more fun as well. You must go clubbing or throw a party with your group every weekend. And on the weekends, if they invite you out, you have to accept it. Like, no matter what, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Some ideas to make this more enjoyable. You can plan breakfast dates with them before class or like afternoon gym sessions. Second, you must try to and maintain a 4.0 GPA. This is optional, of course, if you want your sim to fall to the party lifestyle, but I found it was a nice challenge trying to balance both. Next, you're going to try to marry someone who was in the same college as you. This is her husband, Lothario, like, well, her fiance, I guess. Like I said earlier, this is they met in college and they are just in love. Like, look, like, even out of his side eye, he's ridiculous. That's kind of a bad glimpse there. Sorry, Lothario. That's just there. Um, but so also a little setup for like getting this legacy generation started, your first gen. So you can either start them as a teenager if you're playing on PC or laptop and use UI cheats or MCC command center to cheat their grades and their skills that is needed for the degree. And then you can age them up. If you actually want to play with high school years and don't or can't use mods, you can start as a teen and go through it trying to maintain perfect grades and skills and also, the what's it called? See, I can't even think of the word because I had horrible attendance, but yeah, attendance. Try to maintain perfect attendance. Um, so I actually personally cheated because I wanted to jump right in and I played the perfect students loads of times. So it was in priority for my gameplay. But if it is for yours, then you can definitely do that. Now that we cut that lengthy intro out of the way, we can actually jump over to June, which is Generation 2. He's the new heir. So we'll just quickly go and see him. Here he is, Mr. June Prism, our Gen 2 founder. So before I introduce him, I do quickly want to show you his girlfriend, the main star here, Marlene. She is just gorgeous. They're actually on a date right now because last night was their junior prom and they made things official. Oh my. Okay. So by taking things official, June is very proud of that fact and he just had to lay a big fat kiss on her. So now he's just asking her, like, do you want to go sit down? Get a table here. So I'm going to quickly plan their date, select some activities that they want to do. I usually just select all the socials and eat and drink, and then of course take a picture just so I can save the moment. And we're going to have it here at the steakhouse. That was literally a weird little moment where he was speaking with no audio. So now we are going to head inside and reserve a table, and as Sims are, going by their own free will, I did have to kind of force him to go in here and actually reserve a table because he wanted to keep talking. So finally he is headed inside, and first, he's trying to walk away, so again I have to tell him, come back here. This lady in front of us did not get the best customer service. Not to mention we stood literally inside of her, so that was great. But then the guy gave us terrific service. I guess it's just June's charisma. He was super nice to us, but gave that lady a terrible, terrible time. So now he's going to go take this lady to her seat, and I thought he was doing that, so I kind of got confused for a second. I was like, hello. So June, being the gentleman he is, goes back outside to tell her what's going on. Says they're about to get their table. It's just going to be a second. They just gotta wait while he goes and sits the lady in front of them. And they are just such a cute couple. Even seeing them talk, just butterflies. And now finally our waiter is coming to serve us our table. But first, Marlene wants to get that sweet mistletoe kiss, even though it's literally spring. You go off, girl. So they're gonna quickly walk to their table here. And also, that is her prom dress she's wearing. I totally forgot to give her a new formal wear, mostly because it would have messed up the date if I tried. They are being sat at their table now, and we're just going to go ahead and quickly order for the table. And you're going to see here that I almost decided to get them alcohol, but I was like, they literally are not even 18 yet. So let me just go ahead and get them the orange juice instead. Spoiler alert, I do end up getting them a drink later on. Just because, I was like, tonight's the night. It's the day after New Year's Eve. It's the night after prom. I'm sure they would be drinking. And also it's the Sims, so I'm sure they get to drink no matter the age. But here they are now, just trying to check off some of the little markers for the date while we wait for our table. And with dine out, you never really know what you're gonna get. Like, it could either go really well and you can get your food really quickly and they won't drop it, and the Sims stay seated, or it could become chaos and they are just up everywhere and never get their food, or if they do, it takes hours and the lady literally drops it. But we're gonna keep our fingers crossed that this goes well for them. And June wants to quickly take a picture with Marlene because she looks so pretty tonight, even though, like I said, literally her prom dress, he saw her last night, but he can't say much because that's the same tux he wore as well. So they're just gonna take some pictures here. Adorable, look how cute they are together. So they're just gonna snap some quick photos. I of course was to take 1,000,002, just because I love these poses so much. I love the cheek kiss one. And so they're gonna go ahead and sit back down so they don't get up and run around. And so June is going to quickly try and
smooths his way into talking about some drinks, like talking about how good the drinks are here and how they totally have to try to get some later if they can. She's like, that does sound fun. And he's just gonna rave about growing up and how much fun it is now that they're almost graduated and they can go on dates with their own money. And he's like, isn't it so great? And she's like, yeah, it is. And thankfully, Dine Out worked today, so we are getting our food fairly quickly. And it seems like they both loved their meal, so that's a good thing. Yes, they loved it. So, I wouldn't really eat orange juice with steak and a rack of lamb, but that's what they decided to do tonight. So again, we're just going to try and mark off some of these markers for the date and make it a great date. And he's just gonna do some silly behaviors and try to make her laugh. Because I totally see him being really funny, being a heartthrob sim, which I totally forgot to tell you guys about his whole journey. Basically, he has to break a lot of hearts. He's gonna leave, honestly, all the Teen Sims in the save heartbroken by the end of it, because as you can see from his aspirations still pulled up, that he does have to be a villainous Valentine. And, I'm still trying to work out how I want that to go. I think what it's gonna come down to is they actually had prom the other night, and Marlene won prom queen, but Lucas Munch, of all people, won prom jester. And June, being a jealous type, was not okay with that. So I do think that I'm going to have to do a plot twist and have Marlene be his first heartbreak. I know, she is such a sweet girl, but I'm trying to think of why he would even do this. Like, start breaking hearts. And here we are going to start getting some drinks for the night rolling. But yeah, that's basically his backstory, and then he's going to go in to be a detective. But here we're going to let June tell the bartender that he wants to get a round of drinks for him and his girl. And so they're going to head over and get their grape wine. I love the little bartender. Get the drinks rolling. Like, June, you're 17. But, yeah, like I said, this is The Sims. So they're going to grab their drinks, or well, Marlene is, and this is where things take a drastic turn for the worst. This random lady comes up and grabs June's drink. I was like, are you serious? So June is actually going to really introduce himself, like, hi, I'm the guy whose drink you just stole. Because, what? Like, how dare you? How dare you just come up and steal his drink? So yeah, he's definitely going to be a jerk to her, which isn't the most, gentleman move, especially in front of his girlfriend here, but he can't really help it. Like, he is very egotistical. He's a guy of his pride, so he is going to try to order himself another drink, but I think the bartender has now realized that he is underage, so he's arguing with the girls here, and he is going to throw a drink in her face. He's going to take the rest of Marlene's drink, and he's going to throw it in her face, because I think she definitely deserves that. Like I said, he probably shouldn't be doing this in front of Marlene, but June is June, so he's like, you want another drink? Here! And he throws it in her face. June. So now he's like, I've done made a total jerk out of myself in front of my girl, so I'm going to go ahead and end the date. It was still a silver date, and he still got a good dynamic from it, but he's just so embarrassed. And at this point, he realizes that he stinks, so he's going to quickly go over and try to give Marlene a kiss on the cheek and say bye, you know, like, I'm sorry things ended so weirdly. She's like, no worries, it was kind of hot. Even though it was kind of hot, she definitely said no there to a kiss on the cheek, and she's like, I have to go. So he's just gonna take that loss and head home, and we will pick back up when he gets home. So here we are back home with June, and he is going to wind down for the night before we end this video. And so I think what we do is, yeah, we take a quick shower and wash off that pure stink from our body. It's probably the stink of embarrassment, if I'm being honest. But yeah, he's gonna take a quick shower, and we are going to check some of his wants just to make sure that he is happy for the night. So he's going to come down here and he's going to watch a little bit of romance TV. He's a love bug at heart, and that's why I'm like trying to think of ways to give him his villain arc, because it's definitely coming. It's gonna be so sad when I have to turn him from this lovable, like, love bug of a guy into somebody who basically has to start breaking hearts. But yeah, so he's just gonna relax a little bit and get on social bunny here so he can cause a little bit of mayhem. So here we are, getting on social bunny, and we're gonna add some friends, because right now he's posting to the void, and so we're going to add Marlene, and we're going to add Lucas and some of his other friends that he made in school. And so now we're going to send Marlene a flirty message. He wants to get some boba tea with Marlene, which is adorable, so we'll definitely have to do that. And then, just because he's sour over the whole not being just our thing, he is going to send Lucas a mean message. And I thought this was totally brutal. He basically told him to lock himself indoors and delete the doors or something, because nobody wants to see him. And he's like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Like, Marlene's going to see that, and she's probably going to be upset. But, like, he has to know his place, you know, so he's going to come in here and try to boost his ego a little bit, so he's going to freshen up and just, like, remind himself that he is the best. Like, he has no need to worry. Lucas is not competition. Like, just because he won Jester doesn't mean anything. Like, you know, Lucas June just didn't get the votes, and that's okay. Maybe Lucas is just a class clown. So June is trying to, you know, boost his ego up here a little bit and freshen up, make sure he looks the way he wants to, and then he's going to give himself a pep talk. Like, you are the best. Like, if Marlene didn't want to be with you, she wouldn't be with you. And even if she didn't, you could have plenty of other people. Like, you were attractive, you were strong, you are it. So now he's definitely feeling himself, and he feels a lot better, which I'm glad we couldn't lead this episode off on a sour note. So now